Thank you for joining me today at my YouTube channel. I'm really excited to be able to film a Ask Me Anything for you. A lot of times I get a million questions and I'm really sorry if I don't have a chance to investigate all the questions or answer them. So I thought this would be a great time to be able to answer some of them for you. The first question is from Jimmy on my Instagram, and he says, what, if anything, have you read that made you go, whoa, I wish I had written that? And that's a great question. I feel like when I was first getting interested in comics, the type of genre of comics that really interests me was anything that was a little bit subversive, a little bit outside of the norm. I didn't really read a lot of the typical comics. I was reading more indie things, and I remember the first two that really made a huge impression on me were Kick-Ass. I really loved the concept, the writing style. It was really kind of out of left field. It kind of blew my mind and got me very excited to write comics. And also I would say The Umbrella Academy. Those two left a huge impact on me. I was so excited to read them, and it really opened my mind and gave me kind of a vision of what comics could be outside of the normal like big two. My next question is from Kyle, and he says, what superhero do you think Keanu Reeves should play? Obviously he's already a superhero. He's John Wick. Kevin says, did you buy that Buffy t-shirt? I actually am a huge Buffy fan. I watched all Buffy and Angel, and I have the series on DVD. I actually probably have them on VCR, like VHS tapes. I'm a huge Buffy fan, so yes, I do have a ton of Buffy t-shirts. My next question is from Unicomus, who says, what will your next project for comic books be, and will it be creator owned? This is actually a great question. I get this a lot, and it's one I'm actually going to make a little bit of an announcement. So, you know, I've worked on so many iconic characters throughout my career, ranging from Fathom to Vampirella to Catwoman, and it's been so much fun, and I've enjoyed every second. But I feel like what I'm going to do now is reach out a little bit more to expand my own universe and do a little bit more creator owned. And I will be focusing more on my novels. Novel writing is my true passion. It's where I started my career, and it's where I see my future heading, along with screenwriting. That is something that has really interested me. And in the past, 6 months to a year, I have been expanding on and really enjoying a lot and getting into, and I can see that as my future. So I will be working in the future on more creator-owned properties, definitely, and moving towards my own IPs. My next question is, when do you know when to put the pencil down or stop typing and say, I'm done? I think that's a great question. Actually, I really enjoy answering anything that's about the art or the craft of writing. And this is something I really feel that's like an ongoing education. You're never really done. You get more confident and you get kind of better and more honing your craft every single project that you complete. So I did read something somewhere which resonated with me though, and it was an analogy to shining a pair of shoes, which said, you put your first coat of wax on when you're shining your shoes up and they look great, but then you can only put so many coats of wax on top of that shoe shine for it to look any better, and it really won't. So it's just an analogy to say you can only, fix up your script so many times. I think the first time or second time you go over the draft, it's probably the best it's gonna be, and you kind of have to just leave it and sit with it. But I do find the other thing that I really end up doing is sometimes I end up reading something that I have written a year or two later, and coming back to a project after a couple of years is very eye-opening, and I find I learn a lot doing that as well. My next question is from Facebook, from my good friend Kenneth Levitsky, and he says, if you had the power to reboot one major non-007 franchise, which one would you choose and why? So that's a great question. It's kind of difficult to say though, but one that I always felt like didn't get its fair shake was Fantastic Four. I really think it's a fun kind of like even family-friendly, feel-good type of movie that could really be done very well. And I think that's something that could potentially be done in another way and make it a little bit better. Maybe I could write the screenplay for that. Who knows? I have another question from Facebook, and he says, which characters or comics did you love most as a kid, and do you still have the same fondness for them, or have you been reading new things which supplanted that feeling with other characters? And that's a great question. Actually, I was a really dorky kid. I did not read comics when I was young. You know, a tween in that age when I started reading, I was very into books. I read Wuthering Heights, I read Anne of Green Gables, which is a very Canadian, you know, we have a lot of like Canadian-centric novels here that we read in school, so I was reading that. There's a ton of novels that I read, which I did really enjoy those characters, and they gave me a really good sense of, you know, world building and character development, and it was something that I greatly enjoyed, and I always have a love of good, deep characters. So yeah, those are just some books that I enjoyed when I was growing up. So thank you for all the questions, guys. I hope that I answered them. If I didn't get to your question, then I promise I'm gonna do another Ask Me Anything very soon, maybe next week, and I'll try to get to it then. I hope that you're all having a wonderful holiday month going into December, and that you will be able to check back soon for more updates and videos coming to my channel. Okay, guys, I'm sending everyone hugs, and take care.